Hello everybody, Flaming Shark back with another video, and I want to welcome you to 2025 here with the Flaming Shark. This is going to be a great year. I do this whole spiel every year. I'm going to be way more consistent, and then, it varies a little bit, but I always go disappoint, I guess the best way to put it. I don't post nearly as much as I want to every year. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. As with any other year, I have renewed hope and vigor that this is going to be the magical year. It's a somewhat milestone year. We're 25 years removed from the turn of the century, the turn of the millennium, and I'm a little older than that. So as I approach 30, which is horrifying, I'm looking forward to having a big year. I've been on doing this whole YouTube thing for a decade now, which is another huge milestone for me, and I want to really celebrate this year with a lot of posting. I don't really care about what I get to and what the year looks like YouTube-wise. In general, I just want to post a lot, and I'm not worried about doing something insane, but we're going to see what happens. So, near the end of the year, there was kind of a mess on the channel. I decided to just freeze a couple things and finish some stuff, and I made a lot of progress on Gintama. I didn't quite get all the way to episode 201, kind of decided in the last week I was not feeling well, and I didn't want to force it, so I shut it down and set myself up for a brand new year. And I'm really excited to kind of usher in this new year with a lot of stuff that's either returning after a little time off, returning after a lot of time off, or in a couple cases, we have shows where you guys got a taste of this series, whether it was a couple episodes or maybe even a big chunk, but you got a little tease of the show and had to wait a while for it, and you guys are going to get it. So here we go. I have a lot of shows and series that we're going to be kind of maneuvering around in what's going to be a very exciting and busy January. But with this update being here on January 1st to celebrate the new year, my first update video in a really long time, I want to start with the brand new rotation. 5 entirely new entries in the rotation, but not a single one of them is technically a brand new series. Slot 1, of course, is the gaming slot, which prior to our little end-of-year wrap-up was occupied by the Danganronpa 3 anime, because while it is an anime, it's generally part of my Danganronpa mostly Let's Play series. And we are going to be ceding that spot in Slot 1 over to Fate Stay Night. It is finally time for us to get into Unlimited Blade Works. I am so excited to return to Fate. Back about a month and a half ago, I kind of did an abbreviated run-through of the Fate route where I was, not fully engaged, I'll admit. It wasn't like I just outright played it. But I went through a lot of the stuff. I focused more on some stuff than others, skipped through some stuff, and actually kind of went through a lot of the big moments. And I re-experienced it in the remastered edition. And something I also did, which I'll talk about also in my first Fate video, which will likely be the first. The plan is for the Fate video to likely be the first video. It's at the very least, it's going to be the first rotational video, because I'm just going to restart the rotation from the top. So probably tomorrow, unless there's some other nonsense coming out, the Unlimited Blade Works will probably be tomorrow. It'll be very soon either way. The plan is, so what I did was, not only did I kind of relive some of the events of the Fate route in the new remaster, I also made all the same decisions. So I mimicked all my decisions from the original playthrough of the Fate route. So while we are migrating from into the new remaster, we still have all of the same. Not sure if any of that's going to mean anything on a whole nother route. Probably not, but we have all the same decisions. I've also calibrated everything, so I'm right at the apparent branch point into Unlimited Blade Works, so everything is completely set and ready to go for that. I'm relatively refreshed on the Fate route, and I'm super excited to be returning to Fate Stay Night. The first route of this game was fantastic. It was such a cool introduction into the Fate universe, and I'm super excited to play what a lot of people consider the best route of Fate Stay Night. It's going to be awesome to get Unlimited Blade Works, and for it to be a little more of an easier experience for me now that the remaster's out, and, you know, I can just play it on Steam, and it's like no big deal. It was, at times, a little bit of a hassle for me in the past, but I don't have to worry about that moving forward, which is fantastic. Slot 2, which is the short anime slot, will be given to Konosuba. We have a fair bit of Konosuba to consume. We have a movie to react to. We have a spin-off series to react to. And we have the main event, the proper third season of Konosuba. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to returning to the world of Konosuba. It's such a fun, just wacky, wild show. And really one of the more, not necessarily one of the most hype anime with its return and all the content that we're getting from it, but it's certainly one of my more enjoyed anime series that I'm really excited to get to return to the world of Konosuba. It's going to be a lot of fun. In the third slot, the Western slot, Hilda makes its proper debut. We had a chunky preview video in which you got to see my reactions to the first 8 episodes of Hilda. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to continue to put those videos on YouTube unedited, or if it's going to be a situation where Hilda might be seeing, more of the kind of edited version, redirect. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but Hilda is taking over in slot 3, and I'm very excited to properly start Hilda, even though we have gotten a decent way through Season 1 already in the giant Hilda preview video, which covered 8 episodes that you guys can watch anytime. Slot 4, which is the kind of short, medium, long, it's kind of the more, it is, in reality, it is the long anime slot, really, but it can kind of, it has a lot of variation. Anyways, Fruits Basket, another show which I did kind of a preview reaction to a while back. I recorded my reaction to the first 2 episodes of Fruits Basket. We are starting the full series of the 2019 Fruits Basket adaptation in slot 4. Very excited for that. And then finally, perhaps the biggest of the 5, I mean, you could definitely depends on who you ask. I definitely think returning to Fate's a big deal for me. It's been a very long time coming. But in slot 5, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6. It is finally time to watch the newest entry in the JoJo's saga, and I'm so excited to finally be doing some more JoJo's. It's going to be so much fun. So that's what the rotation is looking like heading into the new year. Unlimited Blade Works Let's Play in slot 1, Konosuba, which will be the movie, the spin-off series, and the 3rd season in slot 2, Hilda in slot 3, Fruits Basket, again, that being the newer Fruits Basket, which another series I started, in slot 4, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 in slot 5. So I hope you guys are excited for some or all of that. It should be a lot of fun. Because the rotation didn't exist for a while, that will be the initial priority, and what I mean by that is the plan is hopefully to get one video out of all 5 of those before we get into the situation with the weeklies, because there will be weeklies. Obviously, there's we do have a lot of stuff to wrap up still from the end of 2024. So this first week, so obviously this is coming out on a Wednesday because this will be the January 1st video. I don't know if there's any random stuff that might come out that might throw this off, but, in all likelihood, we're probably looking at something like Unlimited Blade Works January 2nd, Konosuba January 3rd, Hilda January 4th, Fruits Basket January 5, and JoJo's January 6th. That's the plan. If something random comes out, you know, there is room to push those back. One, because the weekly related stuff will not start until January 8th. And that's where we get into my weekly content that will be mostly short term. There is some stuff that I want to clean up. And that starts on Wednesday, January 8th, exactly 7 days from now, where we jump into my first weekly thing that I will be doing just for the month of January. This will be a deal that will be wrapped up by the end of the month. I will be doing the 3rd season of The Legend of Vox Machina on Wednesdays, on all the Wednesdays in January, obviously excluding today where you guys are getting this New Year update. So January 8th, January 15th, January 22nd, and January 29th will be my 4 videos on The Legend of Vox Machina Season 3. I have already recorded the first Vox Machina reaction, and I'm excited to watch more. It should be a lot of fun. Great. Moving into the very next day, on January 9th, is of course a Thursday, and that will be the return of Persona 3 Reload. Of course, I took a break from that near the end of the year because I wanted to commit to trying to finish various things, and obviously Persona 3, while I don't exactly know how deep I am, we left off at a pretty good cut point, one of the best episodes of the series up to that point, a very eventful episode, which I believe I titled Adventures in Yokoshima. Yukushima? I think it's Yukushima. Something like that. It was a great episode with a lot of notable things happening. We went on a little trip. It was a lot of fun. I won't say anything more than that for spoilers' sake, but it was very interesting. And because of that, we are returning to Persona on Thursdays. But again, because I do want to get the rotation rolling at first, it will be Thursday, January 9th, will be the return of Persona 3. Friday, January 10th, is the 3rd and final, relatively short-term kind of deal as far as like a weekly situation, and this is something that, is kind of 2 birds in 1 stone. So, starting on Friday, January 10th, Fridays will be switching off between Gintama and Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. So, basically, January 10th, I'm probably going to do Gintama because I have part of the next, video I want to post for Gintama already ready. So, my idea is basically every other Friday, it's going to be each of those shows. So one Friday it'll be Gintama, the next Friday it'll be Fairy Tail, then back to Gintama, then back to Fairy Tail. Now Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, at least its first part, is only 25 episodes, so it won't take too long to get through Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. And I plan to do some chunky Gintamas, combo sets for some of this Gintama. The point is, I basically plan for these. I will try and line it up more or less to where these will finish around the same time, and we will clear both of them off relatively, within a week of each other, to where, like, I don't know which one will finish first, but, like, either we'll have the final Gintama and then the next Friday the final 100 Year Quest, or maybe the final 100 Year Quest and then the next Friday the final Gintama. This is also somewhat to make up for, like I said, taking a little break from Fairy Tail, even though I plan to do it as a monthly or bi-monthly series. Now it's going to be every other Friday, starting January 10th, although really, like I said, it's going to probably be January 17th, January 31st, and then so on and so forth. So it's probably only going to actually be 2 Fridays in January, February, which kind of makes up for the 2 months missed, and then any extra will be on the back end. But the idea being that I should be finishing 100 Year Quest about where I expected, maybe even slightly earlier than I would have initially planned. So it does work out in that regard, and it also gives me room to still finish Gintama, because we do still have about 30 episodes or so left to post before my episode 201 cutoff point for Gintama, and that's how we're going to handle it. It is going to be every other Friday, starting on the 10th of January, which, like I said, I think will be Gintama. I think the 10th will be Gintama, then the 17th Fairy Tail, the 24th Gintama, and the 31st Fairy Tail. That could be flipped, but I think it'll be Gintama first. But either way, that is the idea there, and that pretty much covers everything we have going on. Now, obviously, that's a gazillion shows, but Vox Machina will only be through January, and the Gintama and Fairy Tail are kind of one series. They take up Fridays collectively, because we're going to rotate between them on Fridays. So I don't, like I said, Vox Machina being on Wednesdays is only going to be through January, and the Gintama Fairy Tail thing, which is only going to be so long anyways, on Fridays, they kind of act as one series, because they're going to be kind of going back and forth. So it is a lot, but it's in a way where it's not as big of a deal as it sounds, especially because, knock on wood, I do think I will be fairly consistent, at least in January. And again, by the end of January, Vox Machina will be cleared off, so there will be more rotational room. So that's the deal with the shows. The only things left for me to note are Danganronpa 3 and Spider-Man the Animated Series. Those were the two shows, along with, of course, having quite a bit of Gintama. They were the two other things I didn't quite finish. I have, counting the OVA, I have 9 episodes of Danganronpa 3, and I have 7 episodes of Spider-Man. I will probably, the OVA being separate, I've been recommended to kind of watch that after the fact or later down the line or whatever. No guarantees on this, but I do plan to just post Danganronpa 3 and Spider-Man whenever. Decent chance those will be single videos. I will probably chip away at those kind of on my time and combine them. So I'm looking at probably doing an 8-episode Danganronpa reaction and a 7-episode Spider-Man reaction, just all jammed together into one big upload to finish those series. Not entirely sure when to expect those. I'd like to drop both of those in January. That's probably what will happen, but I don't know for sure exactly when I'll get to those. And there's always the chance that I don't do them all like that, but I don't want them, like I said, I don't want Gintama and Spider-Man and Danganronpa to really, take up much time, so Gintama is going to be bi-weekly, sharing that Friday slot with Fairy Tail, and then Spider-Man and Danganronpa most likely will be single upload, fat chunkers, to finish those respective series, where the Danganronpa 3 will most likely be an 8-episode upload without the OVA, and I will do the OVA at a later date prior to V3, TBD on the OVA, and then Spider-Man, obviously, just the 7-episode deal. So that's what I plan to do with both of those shows. So they're kind of on, who knows when they're dropping. It's kind of in the same vein to a random movie reaction. Not that I've done a movie in forever, but you get the idea. Danganronpa and Spider-Man, I have no idea when they're posting, but I do plan to most likely finish them in a single video each when I do. But I'm not, we're moving on into what I want 2025 to look like, which is the remaining shows that I named, sans Gintama, which, like I said, I still have to get through. So, this is the setup I have prescribed. So, yeah, I'll just commit to the idea. The 10th will start Gintama, and the 17th will start Fairy Tail, and that will, those will go back and forth every Friday. So, yeah, should be fun. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. Obviously, I, have to finish Danganronpa and Spider-Man, and I have to get to episode 201 of Gintama, but I'm going to try to do it in a way where it has the least effect on the flow of uploads, and that being really, for the most part, stuff that's fresh, really with the exception of Persona, which obviously, I'm going to be doing that for 20 million years probably, but we obviously haven't had Fate in a while. We haven't had Konosuba in 20 million years, and then Hilda and Fruits Basket, really pretty much new series, even though both of them had a teaser upload a while back, and then obviously the return of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and the return of Vox Machina. So a lot of fresh stuff. So hopefully you guys are excited for all the various stuff that's coming in January, because all of that pertains to January, and that should be the extent of everything in January. If anything else is uploaded in January, it would be something random that I don't know about. That's pretty much summarizing the entirety of January's uploads. Again, unless something random pops up, like a new Digital Circus episode or something, that should be everything that I'm posting in January. It's just a matter of exactly what days or what. But yeah, should be fun. And I'm looking forward to 2025, and I'm looking forward to watching a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff kind of in the background. If you're not aware, there was a poll a while back on the Patreon involving Slot 2, and there are series that are locked in for Slot 2. Baccano and Dungeon Meshi are the series after Konosuba, so that is committed in Slot 2, and Apothecary Diaries just barely lost that too. And I mentioned a million years ago on the poll, I was like, these three are so close, should we do a runoff? And most people said yeah, but I just kind of decided I will just commit to doing Apothecary Diaries at some point. I don't know exactly when. It's not in a specific spot, but I will be doing that show as well, so I can confirm that as well. But again, Baccano and Dungeon Meshi are following Konosuba in that order. So it's going to be Konosuba, then Baccano, and then Dungeon Meshi. So that's what Slot 2 looks like for the foreseeable future. Obviously, Slot 1, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, Danganronpa V3, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, and then we'll be done. Well, we'll be actually done with Danganronpa, and then we'll be done with the main Fate Stay Night game. That doesn't mean we're done with Fate as a whole, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with Fate beyond Fate Stay Night. The only thing I'm committed to past the game is reacting to Fate Zero. Everything else is kind of in the ether. But I will obviously react to Fate Zero at some point in the distant future. Slot 3 is Hilda. I don't have anything confirmed past that. I'm not going to confirm anything past that. Slot 4 is Fruit Basket, and yeah, I similarly don't really know what that's going to look like post Fruits Basket. And Slot 5 is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, and also not planning to confirm anything. Have a decent idea of what might replace it. It was the thing that at one point was potentially going to be before it, and I've actually recorded a little bit of that show. But I don't know for sure. So, yeah. You guys have a decent, amount of foresight on what's happening in Slots 1 and 2. Slots 3, 4, and 5, post Hilda, post Fruits Basket, post JoJo's are wide open. I'm not giving you anything there. I think that's everything. I think that covers kind of the whole gambit. I'm trying to think of what I could mention. I don't really talk about, new series that are out, I have things on my radar that I plan to do, but I'm not going to get into specifics on any of that. So I'm kind of thinking, what are things that you guys might be asking about? So let me do a quick run through of my playlists and just mention anything that I feel mentioning. Chaos Head Noah is... I literally have no idea how long you're going to have to wait for that. I apologize. The AI sequel, the I sequel, kind of a similar boat, but I don't feel bad about that because I finished the first game, and when I do the second game, I will make sure that we're committed to the time for that. I know Chainsaw Man's movie got announced for this year, which is very exciting, but obviously that doesn't affect anything in the immediate future. The Overlord movie probably coming soon, and I do want to do the Overlord movie and Season 4 relatively soon-ish. I have to actually kind of check on what the situation is with that. What else do we have here? We're done with all this. Nothing on that. Dragon Prince. I don't know if it's actually finishing or not, but this is another project of mine, is I do want to do some Dragon Prince mega reactions where I do it, not necessarily record it all in one day or night, but combined videos where I post like a whole book of Dragon Prince in a single video, and just kind of it's all there for you in one big video. I will probably do that at some point. It's kind of one of those things that's been put off, and then the series, and now it's getting close to the end. That's another thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of like just scrolling through here. Monogatari, there's been new Monogatari. I will get to that at some point. Hopefully I would really hope that's in 2025, but I'm very excited for Monogatari, obviously. I'm just, like I said, just kind of like scrolling quickly here. Obviously, we're doing Konosuba now. Re:Zero Season 3, at the time I'm recording this, Season 3 Part 1 is over. Season 3 Part 2 is starting in about a month. Very excited to watch Season 3 of Re:Zero. That's definitely something that will be coming at some point. I have a lot of like commitments, so it's kind of fitting in these things. But obviously, Re:Zero, another show, one of my favorite anime ongoing. Very excited for more of that. My Hero Academia, I'm actually a season behind. And then we have both the final season. Well, we have Vigilantes coming soon, and then we have the final season, I believe, in late 25. I'm planning, when I return to My Hero Academia, I plan to return for the run of that. So I plan to do all of that in a consecutive run. So there's going to be a more committed My Hero run where I do the last, 2 seasons and like Vigilantes and just kind of like a run of My Hero leading into the end of the series. So I don't plan to be doing that for a while, just because I'm looking at Season 7 Vigilantes, Season 8, doing like a whole thing there with all of that. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, at least as far as stuff that we know about, like One Punch Man Season 3 is like, honestly, like, supposedly it's coming, but until that actually, like, becomes real, like, I don't, we'll see with that. Like obviously Has-Been Hotel Season 2 should be this year at some point. Obviously I'll get to that. That should be a relatively small commitment, because that shouldn't be too many episodes. I have no idea if Vox Machina Season 4 is going to be this year. Probably not. Probably at the earliest, probably like early 26. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. If you were just wondering, if you wanted me to mention anything, I would say of like the things that weren't like directly noted, like obviously Re:Zero I'm gonna get to. Re:Zero Monogatari are definitely like priorities. My Hero is kind of more of like a long term, like I kind of want to get to. I want that show to get to the end and then kind of do the big final run of My Hero Academia. I think those are the main ones worth mentioning, because obviously Re:Zero is in the middle of its season, and Monogatari, I believe, has done, like, I believe Monogatari, the run of Monogatari that we had has been over for a while, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely looking forward to doing these series in the future, but no direct, I can't give you guys direct answers on when I'm doing those series just yet, so. Want to get out of here before the 30-minute mark, so I think I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah, if you guys want to laugh about all the shit that I'm doing and whether it'll actually get done or what have you, that's fun. I don't know. Should be fun, though. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited for, like, most of the stuff that I'm going to be doing, like, in January. Mostly because it's stuff that I've been, like, it's none of it's really new. It's weird because so much of it's fresh, but none of it's new. So, like, I genuinely am excited because of past experiences for this stuff, but, like, at the same time, it's still, like, different. Because, obviously, recently I've been doing a lot of, the same stuff, and now this will be so much fresh stuff, and it really adds to the emphasis of feeling like a new year, even if there's still a little bit of cleanup left from the end of 2024, but we'll get there. So anyways, Westward channel, Patreon's down below in the description. If you want to subscribe and watch tons of Flamin' Shark throughout 2025 and beyond, be my guest. Without any further ado, it's time for me to bid you adieu. Flamin' Shark, signing out. Hope you have a wonderful, fantastical day, and I'll see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.